All right. So Sydney said something that I thought was pretty profound at the beginning of when I arrived for this conference. She said that when communities organize, change happens. And this is proof of that concept. I was just looking at the dynamic response to the text poll. And if you compare that to a lot of the different text polls or like intercompany polls that you get through normal intercompany meetings, they're nowhere near as responsive right there. So just that quick, rapid development was really impressive. I think that's like a good illustration of this group and this audience. So I'm excited to be here for a few minutes with you. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'm going to jump into a few different thoughts that I've had around trying to be an ally and a support for helping women in the workplace. So as Sydney mentioned, my name is Mark Reese. I'm the Director of Data Management and Data Governance for Cambia Health Solutions. Cambia Health Solutions is the parent company for Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield. Personally, I'm married. I have 4 or 5 kids. Hard to keep track. And anyways, one of my favorite things to do with them is to read. And so I want to just quickly draw a quick parallel to this experience with reading with my kids and just some of the different experiences of being an ally. My kids are reading a book right now called Wild Robot. And if you haven't heard of this story, you will. I'm sure there's a movie coming out, but it's just a really catching tell. And the thing that catches me that makes it so appealing is how relatable it is. The short version is that there's a robot that comes with some predefined logic, washes up into a remote island, and then is activated, and there's only nature on this island. And this robot's experience is going through and learning from its environment and just learning like optimal ways to handle situations and to grow. And I would say that this is very similar to all of us in different ways. One, for us individually within our careers, and then also for those who are trying to be allies and supportive of women in the workplace. I'll be the first to admit that I've come with some predefined logic and some different things that I probably didn't appreciate existed, but I just assumed that that's the way things were just by virtue of growing up and the way that I did. But through my experience, I've learned a few things that have helped me challenge some of those thoughts, helped me identify opportunities to improve environment and to apply some lessons. So some of those lessons first start with just generally managing. So as I was thinking through this presentation, the thought of what could I share, the first thing that came to mind was, if I can do my job well, that's going to create the right opportunities for everybody that I can influence, right? So simple things have changed since COVID. The work environment, as we've all discussed so far, is completely altered. And that's really a positive thing for this group, I believe. Because what it's required is, as a manager, I have to do my best to be fully aware of what my vision is. I need to know how everybody fits into that, and I need to be good at communicating that. So this removes a lot of the pre-existing problems that we worked with before, where a lot of the time it depended on who you knew, or which conversations you were in on a regular basis, and some of those inner policy or inner office politics, so to speak. So if we can leverage that as allies and everyone here in this room to just do our best in our job, really put in the effort to be clear on what we're doing as an organization, how we contribute to that, and how others play a role in that, that has a positive outcome for everybody else. Another thing that this has done, as well as we've discussed so far, is that it's increased flexibility in a way that's meaningful. So as an ally, I understand that there are many times that I may be impatient and I may want something quickly because there's a existing demand, there's a business need, or there's something requiring it. But truly embracing flexibility means that it's okay for us to push back on some of those urgent desires or needs from different stakeholders to draw things into reality to support people. This is a people-first world, right? And so it's not going to work for us to just have deliverables and deadlines and targets. So if we can figure out how to incorporate those things together, that creates a lot of flexibility. And that comes as well by being reinforced through consistency in how we approach that. So as an ally, I'm doing my best, or trying to do my best, to go through and really to like walk the talk, right? And to live up to what I'm explaining and what I'm asking people to live to. All right, so tying this back to that story of the wild robot, the robot's name is Roz, for those who haven't read the book or haven't heard of it yet. Roz goes through and has some different experiences and learns the hard way and then corrects. So sometimes the best thing we can do is find these lessons. We'll run into trouble, we'll run into problems, we'll run into realizations that we could have done something differently. And that's expected. That's part of our career path and journey. But as allies, we need to be aware and willing and humble enough to realize when we have run into those dead ends and course correct and do our best to make things right and to work through that and help everybody around us. So again, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be here, grateful for the awareness that this helps provide me, grateful for the awareness that provides everybody in this audience, and truly believe that as these organizations or as communities organize, change happens, and I'm a full proponent of that. So thanks for sharing your time.